know when you guys can see my screen.
Yep, can see it.
You guys want the stock screen first, or you guys want to do the watch list first?
Watch list, if you don't mind. That unless the group wants to do something else.
Yep. Anyone else? Preference?
Fine either way, personally.
All right. Well, let's do a watch list first, and then we can go into the stocks. I don't want to take too much time. I know some of you guys celebrate, so happy Easter if you do. I'm not really like 100% religious, so I don't celebrate too much of anything.
Yeah, so
But if you do, happy holidays. And again, I got some damn allergies picking up as soon as I wake up, so my voice is all off.
Did
Oh,
you
Shorty,
exterminate?
honey?
I saw you found the poison ivy.
Yeah, I haven't burnt it yet, but waiting for it. We've had rain for some time now. It's been a very depressing 7 days of spring break because the kids are off from work, from school, and they've been inside home, and you can't put them outside in the backyard. So it's been really fun.
It's been like that over here too, buddy.
Have you been able to try local honey, Shorty, for your allergies? I tried that.
This is like the first year that it really got me bad. I've never had it, but yes, I've heard of the people saying get some local honey and keep eating a piece of it.
Yeah, it's good like every morning, and it helps me at least.
All right, well, let's start. So what I did here, I was just playing with some stuff last night. I couldn't sleep, so I was like, hey, let me just look at some bigger picture, smaller picture stuff and see how are we doing. What you guys are seeing here is it's basically our yearly developing POC. So this is our 2023, and I just want to see how are we doing in terms of balance. So we are out of balance on 2023. If you guys see the first Sigma, that'd be our 68%. We are out of balance. So if we do lose that 4090, you can probably expect a flush all the way back to 3988, which was at one point, and it still is, our composite profile that we said it's really, really important if you go above it. And you see when we arrived at the 2 Sigma here, we didn't really like it, and we made lower highs here again from here to here. And this was in February. So this move here, if it's not able to take out this demand supply here, it's going to signify that there's not as many aggressive buyers as there is sellers. Can everybody visualize that? Meaning not as many aggressive buyers were sellers.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone on the call not comfortable with that and what it means?
Shorty, can you repeat once? Sorry.
I said if the price is not able to slice through this, right, and go higher, that would mean there's not as many aggressive buyers as there is sellers. So usually what happens, I would say, and if you guys look at these pools that we had, and we can draw one from the bottom here to here, you're going to have these, and these are your liquidity pools, right? So like this one here is your liquidity pool. So if this is a liquidity pool, how do you think we are able to hop over this pool here? There's a big liquidity pool here, right? And then there's a tiny little guy, I would say here. So what do you guys think happens actually on the tape and in terms of buyers and sellers to move out of this?
You should be aggressive.
You have to have a lot of volume, a lot of buyers.
Well, what type of buyers? Get more details.
Aggressive buyers.
I would say at first initiative and then aggressive, or.
So that's correct. So it's market orders versus limit orders.
Yeah.
So if there's market orders that are buying, they need to absorb all the limit sell orders that are here in order for this price to go here.
Yeah.
And that's what happens here. Then, so think about it now. If there's not enough market orders and there's a lot of limit orders for sell, what happens to the price?
It drops.
It's going to drop, guys. Because that means there's not as many aggressive buyers to continue the price, and there's sellers sitting in this liquidity pool here. I see it right here. So now if I just say, hey, this is my liquidity pool that I'm interested in, I'm just grabbing the peak of the shelf. Well, look, they hopped above it. They didn't like it. There's a little bit of rejection here. And now, of course, Friday they did some weird stuff and they hopped over it. So that's either telling me, it depends on manipulation, right? It needs to break and hold. It's not about just breaking and getting there. The buyers need to go there. And most likely they're going to come back and retest it. And I wouldn't be shocked if they come back and retest this one again. They came very close to that 40.90, and that level should be on your charts, right? Even from last week. It was 40.91. Does anyone know the significance of it?
V1 value area high.
That's correct. So that level carries importance to be validated. And I would say, in terms of bigger picture, they validated it so far. So now, they have these pools here that they gotta get over, right? Like market orders. Let's see if there's enough buyers to be aggressive and do the market orders, absorb all the sell limit orders. If they are, the price should do something like this. You go higher, and then you come back here. And when I say, hey, retest to see if the buyers are there, it's those same exact buyers because they're coming to their average cost. Then they should, target the next liquidity on this chart. I'm not showing it, but they should go next. And that's how the price action moves, guys. It moves like that even here. Think about it. Here's exactly what happens. I'm just going to not enable this. I just want to make sure that people understand. When people say liquidity, what does it mean, right? So here you have a lot of liquidity in between. You have this one, you have this one. I mean, this large shelf here, the 68, is a bunch of it. But then you see there's tiny little guys here, and there's some, I didn't grab this all the way to the left, but you see these little peaks here that are liquidity, and they broke above it. And where do they come back? They come back to break and hold. They got to hold the price to go higher. So the buyers showed up, they absorbed all the sellers, and the sellers just stepped out of the way here. They said, yes, they're real. Let's step out of the way. We're going to let them buy it, but not here. We want to sell it to them here. If I could tell you, whoever, Cuban, hey, you can sell your shoes at 4,040, or you can sell your shoes at 41.85, where would you like to sell?
85.
Exactly. So what they do is like, oh yeah, the demand is strong. They're willing to buy it. There's a lot of market orders coming in. Well, just, they just move their product from sale here and put it here. And remember, if on the right side of the tape, the ask is weak, that means the price is just going to go like this quickly to it. Whoop. So now they have the ability to sell it here versus there. And why not? 100 extra points for them is great, especially in large quantities, right?
Yeah.
So hopefully that makes sense. I just want to reiterate that.
So liquidity means it's where the buying and selling went down at.
Well, usually means there's resting orders there, right?
Okay.
And then you need market orders to absorb those resting orders for the price to either go up or down, whatever that, I guess, scenario is that you're playing.
Okay.
Okay. Any questions on that?
Question for you, Shorty. So then when you have like what's called like these liquidity sweeps where it like, I guess, goes through the liquid area very quickly, but then reverses, what would that signify? Is that mainly like a stop loss hunt?
Well, are you talking about like this right here, or are you talking about something else? Are you talking about the single line liquidities?
Yeah, like where you see those wicks sometimes, the quick wicks.
That's just them actually creating liquidity for the market. Usually what it tells me, when especially when the price is making like lower highs and they keep wicking like here, right? A lot of people, would say, hey, this is a very bullish formation. Really doesn't mean shit. They're just grabbing liquidity here. People that think that are going to go, break out, go long here, what do? They're like, oh, a lot of people went long. What we're going to do now is we're going to short. And the price goes down. So basically, it's generation of the liquidity, which creates the liquidity pool. The more volume is exchanged here, the more liquidity pool you have. So then when you break above this, this is not, a line that's going to do much by itself. If this was a strong high and we never revisited this line, like let's say it was here, it's not going to hold much, right? And you usually see when there's a liquidity, I mean, look at this strong high here. It was a strong high, and where did the price drop back?
Yeah, right back to
It
it.
drove back to it, and now it created a liquidity pool. If I was to draw this here, island, from here, no, not that, sorry. If I was to draw from here to here, there's not going to be anything on the top. Right? But now that's just a liquidity sweep. It's just to grab the people and start creating liquidity. This is a liquidity pool. There is liquidity here. High volume nodes carry liquidity, right? Hence the ATRs tends to be low in those areas like this. And then if you look here, the ATR is fairly tight here. These liquidity pools drive the algos back to create more liquidity in that area. But this is, I care about this, but not as much as I care about volume profile and these pools that we create on LVNs and HVNs.
What's ATR, Shorty?
Average true range, right? It's the volatility, right?
Thank you.
Does that help answer, Alan?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it makes sense when you compare it to the high volume nodes, low volume nodes, because that's where the liquidity is. You
Correct.
would assume that's where the volume is happening.
That is exactly right. And that's why, when you see, for instance, this volume, and I think this volume here, if I was to even extend it far back, this POC doesn't change. Right, so if I was to go here, I think this POC stays within the range here. So there goes the 65, 66, we know that level. So this level 20 points down and up is going to shift, but you can drag this bad boy all the way down and it shouldn't really shift more than 20, 30 points. Look, I am back. So that tells me there's a lot of interest here at 39.64. Right, from the price perspective, that's going to be a huge level to break. Once you lose that level, I would say that, you're most likely switching the gears and going down more to the bottom. Right now, I still think they're going to explore the top side here. Okay. So that's what I'm interested in. So I'll continue now on the watch list.
How did you extend it like that? Did you click control and then shift over?
No, just click the little profile. Like there's a little button circle and you can just move it.
Think they're gonna explore the 4155 Shorty or higher?
Yeah, I think they go, let's kind of get into it, but and we'll cover where they might go.
Okay.
So this is the yearly, right? So now, you have these sigmas right here that are defined for the yearly, and it's not something you should ignore. I would keep these levels and kind of have them there. I know there's some levels above. I'm not going to mark them. I know 42, 20, 20.5. From the levels, I don't really need to mark them all. I just remember some of them as well. But for now, I would think they're going to explore this area to the upside here. At the same time, what we did on lower time frames, I believe we grabbed, if you go on 30 minutes, right? If you enable your rows here. So, I mean, look at this. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. You have basically it's consolidating, right? So you made higher value area lows, higher value areas, and then here you started overlapping more to a downside. It's almost like a bearish engulfing value area. Then you made a lower high, lower low. Then instantly you made a higher low, higher high, and then you have a lower high and making, still a higher low and a higher high, but it's overlapping. And now you're running again from a B shape, which we've seen before. And usually when you run B shape like this, and this was a really, really short day, I would expect that they're going to come back and retest this, at least this POC here, 41.31. It really has to be retested. So now if I grab this on a shorter time frame trades, look at the POC where it's at. So this would be the level that you're looking for a bounce on Monday or Sunday, depends if you're trading overnight. So this would be your 5-day composite. Okay, or 5-day mean, whatever you want to call it. So now if you look at this, right, and I just changed this to 68. That's going to be around here. So we're a little bit more, I would say, here you have 2 days that closed above it. That it's really in balance. And here's your value area low. I would say it's more bullish than bearish at the moment right here. And then if you count, let me finish, Cuban, please.
Sorry.
And if you count, you know, the POCs where they are, right? On our close here. So you had this shape here that we started running from, and then from 9:30, we kind of created almost like a B shape in extended hours. But on regular hours, if I was to switch this, it would probably be, you know, if you look at this, it's going to look like a true a P shape here. So it looks pretty bullish that it wants to continue higher. I would think there's more continuation to be explored here to the upside. And then if you take off this just for purpose of visibility, now let's say we look at the 95 here, because we are ranging, right? So you have 41.61, which I think they're going to go for it. And then on the bottom side, 40.96, and that's exactly where they bounced it from. And then 99 should line up here somewhere. So 40.81, but I don't think they should drop it below 490 unless we change the sentiment here. If we lose this level here, I would say if you lose 40.90, 40.80, that's where you want to start looking a little bit like, oh, there's a high chance you're going to run it to the developing POC. And that's your mentality. You don't care if it's going up or down. You should not have a bias. You should have a bias when you enter the trade, but that bias goes away and you use the stop losses to manage your bias, right? You should not be too excited. Oh my God, it's going to work because I'm in a trade. No, the market doesn't give a shit because you're in a trade. You should just play what's in front of you. Okay. So I would expect that we come back to this and retest it here. If not, there is this shelf here that you guys see. If they want to push it a little bit more, 41.50, if they do a push, expect them to reject it. And I would rather play long here than short here. But that's just me because we're still making, now we're making higher highs and higher lows still. So I would look, you know, kind of to play that rather than the opposite. If we go to the 41.85 area here, the big sigmas, I would look potentially to short that over there. So this would be my area potentially for a swing short. And that depends also how we arrive there, right? Do we arrive at the gap ups, or, you know, is there a lot of volume coming in? But I would definitely look for that. And if you guys look at the volume here, I don't see buying volume really, you know, picking up here a lot. It's not like a huge pickup in volume. And then if you go on the daily, you know, the volume's been actually decreasing here a lot. But even the sellers are not coming in. So I think it's anyone's game. And if they break 41.85, I would, you know, think that they want to go 40, 20, 20, 20, 42, 20. And then I think 4,300 would be doable for them. And like Island talked about, I think they would be targeting somewhere around here, this liquidity to create a pool there now. They haven't been here since the major dump we had last time, which was when, October or April. So I think this is doable here if they're able to get out of this sigma here. And then if you guys looked at your PVPs, right? So let me bring them in. So here's your weekly profile. That's pretty much kind of telling you the same. Your previous week profile high is somewhere around 41.37. Besides, you know, this price action here, it really never even came there. So this is basically created here on a couple of days or one day that it created this value area high. There's a lot of volume there and here, but other than that, not much. So I would expect them to peek inside and see if we can hold that at this level. And then you have the value area low again at 41.02, which I think psychologically will be important. So we should see that, right? If we lose this POC, you have 30 points potential short, which might be doable if you lose this 41.30, guys. I think you could definitely play that. We did touch this 40.90, you know, one too many times, and it didn't drive, you know, the creation of higher highs here. And of course, Friday they did some crazy stuff here where they pumped it right into this imbalance. But there's a chance, high chance, that they're going to bring it back to this 41.50 off of this shelf here that you guys see right here. And they might dump that from there, that guys, because this is a typical setup for when they create a balance, right? And you see a fake, a trap, and then they come back. So usually when it's a condensed, profile like it is here, and they trap them off of HVN here, there's a high potential that this was a trap long. And if they don't get over this level here, which is 41.55, then you should be careful, because I think they could dump it from here and cause, the sell-off. And then I think 39.88 would be the target. I would be looking to kind of scalp long from here. Does that make sense to everyone?
Yeah.
So 40.90 bigger picture goes here. That's 100 points. Below the POC, there's a high chance you go to 41, call it 4100, 4102. If you want to play long, I'm not willing to play long where we are right now. I'm not willing to go long here from 41.47 break of the, I wouldn't even call this PDH from Friday. I would use Thursday's PDH and PDLs. If they hop over this, then you get a little bit interested. But for me personally right now, I need somebody else to do the price discovery here, whether that's Cuban or whoever wants to go, but I'm not doing it. I'm not exploring the prices here myself. Really, what that means is I'm not going to go long here, guys.
But Shorty, if it gets bounced, you will go long, right? Someone else do the price
I will not go
discovery.
long here in this range at all.
Okay. So only if it skips the third sigma and then just
It
sort of
needs to
bounce
go
back.
over the
you'll do-
sigma and comes back, and then I'll be interested.
Okay.
Here, no, hell no. For me, there's not enough meat here. I would be looking to short it at these levels rather than long. And I'll show you guys why.
Thanks, Shorty.
I'm going to show you guys another screen here. Let me see.
You're talking about from 41.37 up, you're not willing to go long. Is that what
Well,
you're saying?
they came a little bit higher. They hit 41, almost 50
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
So I'm not trying. There's not enough meat, free meat there that I can grab and drive higher. So I'm not willing to play the zigzag game with them. Let me show you something. I want you guys to just kind of remember the picture here for a moment. Okay, so this is our 5-day, I would say, balance on ES, correct? So here we had, let me make sure I have, this is our 68 is right here, 41.41. So you guys should probably mark these on your chart. So this is your first sigma. So this is the range that they're gonna play in. You guys see that? That's your balance of 5 days here. So 41 to 46, 35 points. And then if you guys look at the 95, it's probably gonna go here. And so here's our 2 sig 5 days. Now you see, there's not a, you missed an opportunity. You remember 40.99 when we talked about 40.98 long last Friday, or when was it, Wednesday? We said that this was a pretty good long here, and a lot of people are scared because the sell-off candles, but
Yeah.
that yielded like 30 points run up. It was slow. It didn't look like it was the fastest thing ever, but with a short week now, as you're approaching here, for me, there's not enough meat here to play. I'd rather play it when they bring it back down, because you're approaching extremes high, right, of this 5-day balance. I'd want to short it here, not long here. That's why. Okay. So now just remember this profile that you're seeing here on, let's see. Look at the profile and pay attention where the POC is. Okay. Now we're going to go to NQ. We're going to chart NQ now and see the difference. Okay. Well, I have it already charted. What's the difference between the two?
It's like NQ is a little behind in terms
Yeah.
of.
NQ's a little behind, but notice the POC. You guys see the POC difference?
Yeah, the PLC is on top instead
He's
of
way
in the
higher
middle.
here.
Yeah, so this is our 5-day POC, right? So here, we are lower. If we are able to push this, what is this? 7. How many points is that difference? Let's see. So we have about 31 points to push here, right? If NQ is able to push 31 points, and let's say ES pushes, I'm just gonna go 1 for 1. Why do you guys think I would be more short here than long?
Is it aligning with the NQ reaching POC, so it may just
Yeah, I
reject?
mean, there's a high chance that they're gonna reject this, guys. There's a really, really high probability here tomorrow. Unless they gap up, then my game plan changes, right? If they gap this up, and I would wait for the retest of this level, right? We want those market orders that they use. Well, they would not be market orders. It would be a auction that's predetermined. We want to come back and see if they wait here. And usually when it's predetermined auction, and when they, let's say they gap here, sometimes they will do this. Instead of bouncing here, they will bounce on the bottom here because they will trap what? The shorts, and then they go higher. So that's something that I would watch for this. For a long opportunity, if it's done during the trading hours, it should bounce somewhere around here. If they do after hours, they're gonna trap all the idiots, and they're gonna, people are gonna short here, which you should short, and that's the play that we're looking for. Here, you're looking for long, but initial rejection here. So just pay attention to what I'm gonna do now. Somebody go on mute.
I can still unmute, please.
All right, guys, come on. Drew, can you catch it?
Yeah, I'm looking for it.
Thank you.
Already done.
All right, thank you. So if you guys look here, what did I do here? I just grabbed this portion here. Somebody asked, can I explain the FVPs and why I grab certain areas? What is the setup from our PowerPoint here? Why did I just grab this area here?
Consolidation.
What's the name of the setup? Yep, dumpster. Yep, let's see if anyone else. This is our accumulation, rotation, right? This is where we don't mind these big candles. Don't let them throw you off. They're used for trapping. This is where you consolidate it, guys. You consolidate it from here, and then what happened?
Just sell off.
Balance. Remember, market always, it creates balance,
Yeah,
imbalance, balance,
yeah.
imbalance, balance. Now they're making it look like they might go higher, and they might. My first attempt here should be what? We broke, first revisit. What should I do here?
Short.
Short.
This is an easy short, guys.
Sure, yeah.
If, and I hope they do this, and I'll pray tonight they do this. They go over this, and then they fail. And that's gonna be my favorite setup, because then I know that they lost it, and then this probability from here to here, almost 90%, 99% is gonna happen. I would short here, and I'm gonna short here. Here, I gotta accept that I can be wrong, and then they might stop me out. But here, they pay my bills. Okay. And then if I go long here, right? If I go short here, my stop loss will be right around here. And same stop loss probably depends how the volume accumulates, if they hop over or whatever, if the shelf changes. But I'll be looking short here and here. And then if they hop over, my first instinct then is to switch, right? Is to go long here. And my stop loss would be somewhere depending on the shelves if it changes, but it would be somewhere around like here, call it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, short.
Okay. So you guys have to start recognizing the rotations. They're really, really, really important. And right now, if you guys think about it, let me move this. Start. If you think about this right here, if you look at the bigger picture, there's our. If you look at this, right, and you just start looking at the demand and levels, right? So if I was to go, let me go in 4 hours. So there's a strong buyer sitting at these levels right here. I would say there's some guy that's pretty aggressive from here. You guys see it? So I would say, let's grab this guy here, draw this guy here. So there's a guy sitting here, and this is basically previous support now turned resistance. You know, they struggled, and it could be wider, right? It could be somewhere around here. I don't care for the purpose of this, but you see them, you know, that they're struggling to close above this. They failed every time. Then they found it once, and then came back and lower low, and then they ran it higher and they took out the previous supply. So this guy here is pretty aggressive at defending this level. If we are to lose this level on a bigger time scale, if we are to lose this level here, there's a high chance, high odds, you're going to be testing our previous go long level at, what is this, 11.9-ish, 11.9. We're going to come back to it. And we got to scan a little bit more to the left to see where's the resistance. And we are coming up right now, you know, to some areas of interest on this. So an NQ, I honestly think that what I'm looking for, this is the key for tomorrow or tonight, whatever you're trading. If we are hopping over this during regular hours, we want to retest this. My first attempt is going to be short because those points, if you guys remember, matches the ES sigmas along with this major POC. NQ is lagging behind ES here. And I looked at some stocks. I don't know if you guys did some charting over the weekend, but look at this. Check your big, you know, your big four. I mean, even if you do this. Here's the big boys. What do you see on the big boys here? Who are we missing? Am I missing somebody? Apple, Microsoft, Amazon. I'm not missing anyone, right? That's it. I feel like I'm missing one. Is it Meta? We use Meta sometimes. Sure. Here, let's put Meta. So what do you guys see on this chart here? Let's go on the weekly.
They're approaching the resistance.
We're approaching resistance on a lot of these levels. So if you guys just go, you know, just naked charting, if you guys go from here. Why is this very important here?
We rejected multiple times.
Support resistance flip.
This is our flip. This is going to be very, very crucial for, I mean, I'm going to grab this whole thing here. This is where they can run up to, which is 1445 up to here. Now, you know, if you look at these shelves here, there's not a lot in the way here. Here's, you know, now you're approaching the first sigma, and if they want to run this and squeeze, this would kill the shorts. And that's, you know, the market's never dump when, you know, people are expecting it to dump. A lot of people are bearish on a dollar. I guarantee you, dollar is not going to drop. When people are on it, how many of you guys believe PLTR was a great company and you bought shares? Probably some, but you're embarrassed to say it, but that's okay. You bought PLTR because the masses, right? The people outside were all buying PLTR, and there was some PR on it. CEO would talk that this is a great company. And what did you do? Well, oh, you were like, oh, this is a cheap company at $20, man. I can double. And then PLTR loses 80% of the value, right? Masses were in it, and they pulled the plug. Same fiasco with AMC, right? Masses were in it, and then all of a sudden the broker just stopped trading, blah, blah, blah. The rich people won. When the dollar is now weakened, right? They're not gonna drop the dollar. I guarantee you. It doesn't matter what fucking is happening in the war. US probably not the country to fuck around with, especially when you're challenging the status quo of the past, 100 years. They're not just gonna bend over, and people don't want to understand that, but that's okay. We're not just gonna give up the US dollar reserve currency to somebody else. And other countries would be hesitant to trade with the new currency where there's not a lot of backing and financial systems and tracking. And I'm not going to go into the spiel, but if the dollar is not going to drop, and if the dollar is going to appreciate, what happens to the stock market?
Gonna go down.
Comes down.
There's a chance that it's gonna pull back a little bit more, right? So that I'm just giving you a heads up. You know, don't freak out over the dollar yet. They might make you a little bit, you know, like, oh my God, it's gonna happen, but don't freak out too much. I do expect this on a combo to come back to 1202. So, you know, whatever that means for the stocks of these individuals, but I do expect it to turn around. If I look in the video, this is my NVIDIA chart. I'm expecting, I'm setting up on the video to buy some leaps. And again, Shorty's crazy. I'm expecting leaps to about 170. So sometimes October, November, 170 puts. It's gonna come back here. Okay, so that's NVIDIA. If you guys look at Apple, same story here. This is my favorite though. On Apple, this is just insane. Who's buying here? Look at this candle last time we had this run. Right here. You had an island, reversed, and now, you know, of course, what do you think the retail's seeing here? They see a nice little channel, but then, you know, let's grab this here. Where are we?
First signal.
Yeah, first segment. We peeked above it before. Is there odds that they might again with some magical squeeze? Yep, of course they can do it. And then there will be a major shelf here if they are able to run this higher. I feel like somebody would offload the stock here because they're trying to create liquidity for them. But yeah, I think Apple is also a candidate for some longer puts as we approach, especially if they give us this 172. Apple is barely down 8% from all-time highs, guys. I don't know where does it sound crazy or not, but that's crazy to me. Amazon, I would say it's lagging. This is so far, I would say this is the cleanest accumulation on a stock. But on a monthly, I mean, if you guys look to me, this is, you know, until you're able to clear this 114, I'm not really bullish on it. You gotta clear this up, you know, the seller from here, take them out and then proceed higher. I still think it's gonna break this and go lower. I think, you know, somewhere between this range here is doable. Because this was our initial, if you guys remember when we start, well, if you were buying, this was a really good buying opportunity on Amazon at one point here. And I have shares of Amazon. I'm not going to sell it just because it's a long-term portfolio at this level. Actually, I have cheaper average than this. But if it comes back, I would be willing to, you know, somewhere between 50 and 60, do the dollar average on it. On that one. So Amazon is actually better than Google. I'm sorry, better than Microsoft, Apple, and Nvidia. And then if you look at Google, I think it's in a decent shape, and it's making higher highs now, you know, on the monthlies here. This one I also have in the portfolio, and I would probably add more if it comes back to this level here. And I'll be looking for that level. And I think honestly, Google is probably the strongest of these names here that you guys are seeing. So I wouldn't be shocked now if this runs up to like 120-ish. Unfortunately, I would short it here at 120. Because I have no reason not to, and there was an accumulation here that lasted for a very long period. And it's probably 111.74 that I will start entering on a short side here. Okay. Baba, with everything that's going on right now, I'm waiting for this sucker again to come back, and I can short the hell out of it. If there's any sanctions on China, which I do think they're coming, that's just my personal opinion, on Chinese companies, especially, did you guys see what's happening yesterday with Taiwan and China?
Yeah.
Didn't see it, no.
Yep. So, you know, they're bringing in tensions, and US is not gonna, US has to defend Taiwan just because of, I guess, geopolitical reasons. So if that happens, I know this is stupid, but I would look to buy Baba probably $20, $30 puts for a year out. It would go below this. I would expect it somewhere in 20s and 30s. If any sanctions were given, Baba Export makes probably the most money to us. And if there's sanctions, you know, no buying and selling there, this company goes to shit. And what's the best way to kill manufacturing economy? Anyone? Checking to see if you guys read some books.
Inflation.
Nope, you just don't buy their products.
Yeah.
And heavily tax their imports.
Exactly. And if they can't, and now think about it, if you heavily tax their imports and the dollar appreciates and you're using yen between other countries, now you need more yen. First, pay off the debt. Second, to make a trade, you're going to be in loss because you need labor. And then, I don't know, unless you can increase productivity 150% from an individual, you're not going to be profitable. But yeah, I'm waiting for this guy here. I would say if they can push it to 124, God, please do. That made me quite a bit of money last time. If they're able to do it again, I will be short. So let's see what they do. They bought some here. They bought some more here. There was support. I don't see a lot of selling, but let's see what happens. Unless the tensions ease and this is fake, this can be a candidate to go to shit.
For Baba, you're just taking the technicals and the macro. For Nvidia, do you see any macros? Because
Well,
just
macros on
mentioning
NVIDIA is, if you looked at their financials, right, they showed inventory is 100% year over year. So their inventory levels, Karthik, are just way high, right? They have backlog orders on, you know, a couple of other like the chips and stuff, but that's okay. Every company of that size and, you know, importance is going to have back orders on items that they mostly need, right? So there's elasticity and elasticity of a demand. If there's a product that's much needed, right, you're going to have to buy it. But what about the products that you use your manpower, use your supply chain to build, but it's not selling? And that's the ones that I'm like, okay, well, if you built those, eventually you're going to have to, you know, just like these inventories in the stock market, what do you do when you have so much of something?
reduce the price.
You have
And
to reduce
offload
the
it.
price, or eventually you have to liquidate.
Yeah.
Meaning you have to sell. It's just like a dealer in a stock market, right? You know, I call them the locals. When the local has to buy a bunch of something, he has two options: either find new buyers, or he's gonna have to take a loss. And you know, dealers, they're just gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna take a loss here, write it off. But when you have such large physical quantities, that costs money, right? And you would know about that. I mean, if there's storage involved and you can't build in new inventory to hold, that's why I'm a little bit bearish on chip makers altogether, right? And MU had ER, right? And I think they pretended they had good ER. Yeah, I agree with
Yeah,
Dempster. I
that's right.
think it's, you know, cash flows are going to be impacted. Our operations cash flow is going to be hurting. You know, they're going to be in a shitter for a little bit because these runs here were good because there was a strong demand for their chips, computers, whatever, people working from home, and it was exaggerated, right? And now I no longer see that, right? And then if you look at this one here, here's this. Wow, TSM went there. When was this? October. Okay. I thought it happened recent. I was like, man, I missed this one. I'm looking for TSM. If it does come back here or even to this level here, I would buy some TSM here because I think eventually TSM or Intel is going to buy TSM or TSM is going to buy Intel. That's just my crazy prediction that might happen. But let's see. I'm interested to see which way it plays out, but I like Intel and TSM. I know Intel looks beat up, but I promised you it's this is going to make a comeback. This is almost like Boeing and Airbus story. I'm really interested in this one here. So if they give us, you know, a 21-ish, man, I'll be all over it. And this is a fake pump here. If you guys remember Anna Cooling, whoever read it, if you remember Anna Cooling, there's a, just go on page like 52, 51, like it's towards the end of the paragraphs. She talks about exactly this scenario here. And this is exactly what's playing out right now. What are they doing here? Does anyone know?
You're testing.
They're testing. They're testing this. Are they testing with a lot of volume or not?
No.
No, you never test with a lot of volume. You test, institutional give you the bone, the retail runs, and then they bring it back. And this is coming back to 28.46. I promised you.
You think maybe they could bounce it off that that purple line, create like
No.
a spring according to like Wickoff or whatever?
No, this should be a creek here, but
Yeah, the creek.
this would be a creek, but I don't think so. No. They need time to accumulate more, even though accumulated for a long period here. But I think what's going to happen is they go here, here, and from here, if they give us 21 here, I would buy a lot. I would buy, even though it sounds stupid, but I would buy a lot. I like to buy companies like that. Remember Warren Buffett's idea of a puff cigarette? I'd buy a lot here. Pretty sure Nancy and the team will not allow it to go bankrupt.
A quick question on the NVIDIA. Like it's sort of, I see that somewhat similar to the cat where I bought and then sort of like not incurred a huge profit, but in the NVIDIA, will you just do sort of a 10%, 15% like that because it's not stopping, or you'll just go like full position right now with the belief that whatever you had mentioned is going to
No,
materialize?
Nvidia has a potential if they want to. They have a potential to hit 300 here. There's a
Okay.
strong chance that they might push this to this level right here.
Okay.
So there's a level. So I will add puts here. I'm not gonna go all out, but if they break this, and will be interested in increasing probably a couple of times the position that I initially created.
Okay.
It'll probably be a 5 times increase from this position here.
Got it. I see somewhat similar to cat where it was accumulating on the top for a long time. I could not make huge money, but now it's below 220 is the target you had mentioned.
That's
It
correct.
took like 2 months longer. That time. That's what
Yep.
I was just
They played
wondering
us out
how to
on
play
that one,
this.
right? Yep.
Yeah, I lost money and then gained a little bit, but maybe, as you said, little longer data puts would have yielded
Here's what I
3-4
was
times.
talking about, guys. This is exactly, it's page 48, not 52. I did nail it, but on the bottom, this is really important that you guys understand how they manipulate it and why they do that. So if you haven't read it, this is really, really important that you guys understand this. Okay. So NVIDIA, yeah, that's the plan on that one. Is anyone confused on the plan for ES? This is pretty straight. Probably this is gonna be the easiest week to play. And I think we get some range. I think Wednesday we have CPI, right? What's Wednesday? Is that the 12th?
Shorty, if you don't mind, may you maybe quickly summarize? Yes, I just joined.
No. Yeah, Wednesday CPI. Yep. So on ES, yes, what's happening if you look at the 5-day balance? This is our 5-day balance that you see here. Here. So now we're expecting to see how they deal with this high volume node. We are approaching the sigmas here, the 2 sigma, and then the longer this sigma here that you see are the yearly developing sigmas, right? The 2 and 3s. But here's the 2 sigma for 5 days, and I would say that the 2 sigma here, 3 sigma, I'm sorry, is probably going to be somewhere around close level. There goes identical level as 2 sigma. So I would expect that we get a rejection here. And I would think that they hop over. Once they lose this, then I'll be interested, potentially shorting. You could short this at the beginning right here because it would match what the NQ is doing. And the reason why I'm bringing NQ, since you just joined, you see the NQ had if you look at the 5-day on NQ, we are below the POC here. So let me turn on so you can see it. Here's our 5-day balance. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's grab more. I'll grab it from here to here. And we are below the POC here. And even if I go to this, POC probably should stay here. So compared to ES, we are below the POC. If they decide to push the POC, I was explaining to that rest of the group here, you know, it's like 30, 37 points difference. I would say 31-ish. And on ES, if they're able to do the same move, point for point, it would probably go from 41.40 all the way to here, the sigmas, right? And I'll be interested in shorting somewhere around here, along with the NQ hitting the major POC and us rejecting the sigma, which probably drive it back to the 41.30 level. So if we lose, let's say this 5-day POC here, 41.30, that would be a pretty decent short, I would say. A real sentiment change happens once you lose 40.90. 40.90 is a sentiment, you become a little bit more bearish in your bias. Right now, you're a little bit bullish, you know, until we reach these levels and we see the weakness here and then we short the weakness at the top. I am personally not going to play too much long between these levels. There's just not enough meat. Can I scalp this? Yes, but to sit comfortably and stress-free, there's not much stress-free here. Maybe for others, but not for me. I'll be looking opportunities to short here because of the NQ approaching POC. Could one short, you know, if we lose this, we hop and then you come back here. Yeah, that's definitely a short here. You could catch this short for 20 points here, right? That's a good short. There's different variations how you can short this, right? If you lose this here, 1 sigma, I'm not going to short this for 10 points, even though you could, but I'm not interested. Would I short something like this? Yes, I would short that guy right there as well. Here, things would be interesting, right? Because this is a nice channel that they had. On a bigger picture, they need to slice through this, and then they got to bring it back, and then we're going to short this guy here. So that's my ES play. I'm not looking to go long until they break this sigma 41.85. If they do, we're going to go to 42.20. And TJ has that level marked. Right, TJ?
I
Thanks a lot,
do.
Shorty. Thanks.
Okay.
That's
So that's
the
ES and
2022
NQ. And
value
I
of the-
think honestly it's going to be a pretty good week if you just stick with the ideas of using the volume shelves for them retesting and holding. You know, if they're able to break this here, could you go long? Yes, I'm not going to go long, but you could. If they break this shelf here, there's potential they can run it up a little bit to these levels. But I'm just going to sit and wait and see what they do. I need an influx of new buyers that are aggressive. And this here, I don't know. On Friday, that's not aggressive. This was aggressive selling. I don't see aggressive buying anywhere yet.
The 4150 to the 60 zone is also like the 4-hour chop, and it's pretty close right now.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, exactly. So I'm not interested in buying here. For me, there's no value there. And I would think a lot of institutional right now are going to look to offload. The more uncertainty is coming from the war and all this crap, the less they're going to hold this right here. But let's see what they do.
Do you think they'll actually come back to that 3600 zone and do a retest? Because it didn't seem like they actually did anything there. They just spiked really fast.
This one? Oh, of course. Are you talking about this one here on the
Yeah,
bottom?
that.
Oh yeah, of course they're gonna. We just talked about that. So this is a good example. Island, you know, they had liquidity here. They had a spring right from here. They're gonna come back and test this true level. Here they came back. I know we talked about this level here being the key level at one point. I don't know if you guys call it 3850s. And we
30.
came back and we tested that level and they bounced. Well, if that 3850 cannot take this supply out, what does it tell you about this?
It's weak demand.
It's weak demand. There's a high chance then that we're going to be going. We're going to be going somewhere around here, 36, call it 3700. We're going to go here, and then of course you potentially target. Don't extend. They're going to target somewhere on the bottom of this, which would be 3600. I don't see a reason why they wouldn't sweep the liquidity at that point to the bottom. So yes, as you know, once we shift this POC, you know, once you lose this developing POC here, right, yearly, high odds you're going to be hitting this. So then you see if these buyers are really there now, right? They were there first time and we caught some of this. If they slice through it, well, then our sentiment really changes. This was also, if you think about it, an SR flip. And if they flip that inside, then you're going to test the bottom of that range, which would be the lows, October lows.
Thanks.
Okay. And anyone not clear on how to play this? Is there anyone confused? You really need to use the 5-day balance and extend these shelves if you can. I think, if you extended something like this, you'll see the shelves show up on your candles, and they might help you a little bit. And you see here, we went to this free space, and where did they reject? Boom, to the shelf. Now, if they come back here, they want to hold it, that's fine. Then they can push to 41.50. If you want to play that, by all means, go long. I'm just not interested in long. Okay. Is there anyone not clear? I mean, if you're not clear, that's okay. I'd rather explain it than you go into a week not knowing. Okay. All right, good. So I think that's our watch list. I'll write up the plan in Shorty's corner just in case you are confused. I'll detail it with the entries, so you guys can have something to reference. And of course, just copy the link that I post in the Shorty's corner, and you can have that if you have multiple screens. Put it up there. Not saying my levels are golden. You probably have better levels than I do, but you can at least use it as a reference. Okay. All right. I did scan some of this stuff on my own. Let's see if I can bring it back. So I'm looking here. What is this? This is the bottom. This is the monthly bottom. So we're just gonna see if there's any stocks right now lingering down on the monthly bottoms here. Let's see what comes up. Maybe nothing's coming up. Okay, there's the monthly, weekly bottoms. Okay, there's the monthly bottoms. I'm just gonna go through the list quick, right? We know about the Dominion Energy. Do you guys recall that? It was on our list previously. I believe it was here. You guys see the desired price? And Dominion is literally right there now. Let's go here. So Dominion is right there. So I think if we can catch it somewhere around here, it might not be a bad opportunity to go long. Oh, what's going on here? Okay. So if you can catch that, that'd be great. But I honestly think you could even get a better price here, the 54. If you can do that, that'd be a good price to catch here on this one. 54 would be great on Dominion. I would look for that. I do think natural gas, all the gases are gonna bounce. Anything gas utilities, I'd be interested. Roku, it was coming up on a different scans that I had. I would not buy shares of Roku, but for people that do want to buy it, I honestly think you can wait a little bit. So Roku itself, I think 56 would be a great buy. We're just kind of consolidating here right now. So I would not be interested in buying this. If you're gonna buy, you should have bought the range bottom, not the middle of it. So no interest there. This does not look right.
Surely you said your NVIDIA puts 170 puts for what, November?
Yeah, somewhere towards the end.
Okay.
Doesn't looks like a monthly bottom, right, Shorty?
Hold on.
I had issues like 2 days back when I ran the scan. The results were off. I don't know, for some time, and then tried multiple times, and then it started coming back. I was about to ping you, like, but after an hour or so, like, it started giving the right results.
Yeah, Roku's in a squeeze. Yeah, Roku's in a major, big moves coming here on Roku. I'm talking probably half the price, $30 moves coming. Yeah, this is the monthly bottom right here. So I don't know why is it coming up on the monthly bottom. It really shouldn't. Let's see. Looking at some stocks here, see if they're showing up. There's our familiar name here. I mean, if you're interested, the Z-scaler has been really good, and I think it's been on our list for some time. There was a short 130, long swing 6 combined shares at 105-ish. So I honestly think this is not a bad buy anytime it hits. Anytime it
It was
hits
at
like
weekly bottom
yeah.
on Thursday. I bought it for 2% on Friday.
I was like, what is this? So I think if you guys can capture this anywhere here in the deal, like close to like 100, this is pretty good buy for me. I'll be interested in, adding more to it. And I think this is probably going to bounce again, probably go to the top here to 116. So if you're playing shares, I mean, that's pretty good. 16% a stock in a shorter period of time frame. I would watch for ZS again to kind of play a role. And if you did capture it, a longer period hold, I would target this number here, 150s, 160s, which would be somewhere now, maybe 140s on the monthly top here. I didn't see a lot of good names to buy long, and I don't know if you guys have found any tickers you're interested, but when I scanned this, I didn't find a lot. It was a lot of same names. For me, I was actually interested in shorting a lot more swing shorts than swing longs here on shares. Not much interest for me on buying here. Let me see. This is the bottoms. I'm just looking at tops now, as I did not find a lot of interesting stuff to go along, but you see like Google's at the top. So if I was to go here and look up Google, I mean, you're at the weekly top, you got to break 110 to go higher, really break 116 to explode to 141. So, if you're going to play the momentum breakout, this is your 116 is the level on Google. If we're able to break that, there's a high chance you're going to run. Otherwise, the monthly bottom's been money on Google. So I would really look for this to kind of probably take a breather here as we're running here. What is this? I think it was weekly. Yeah, weekly tops. So Google, Roblox, I don't care for it. Well, I do care for Shorty. I confuse this company with something else all the time. I confuse Roblox with Coinbase a lot. I don't know why. I don't think they're in the same industry. Yeah, this is prepping for a violent move. Pretty good move coming here. Over 48, you can catch 52 here. I would say below daily bottom 39, you catch it all the way to 28 and then 21. I don't think this happens soon, but I think this happens very soon. So that would be a candidate for short. Oh wow, TTD. I haven't seen that name in so long. Just consolidating here. Yeah, below 58, this has potential to dump literally 3, 4, 5 points, but I'm not interested in shorting here in consolidation. INTC, you could short this longer term, but it's remember doing that weird test to the market now, so you don't want to necessarily short that. Service now. So we hit the weekly top here. This potentially coming up to a good short here. And there's a lot of congestion here, guys. If it loses 454, I mean, it's going to 420. I personally would not buy it till 373-ish on the shares itself. It'll drop. But this might not be a bad one to look at here on the volume profile to see if there's anything in this area here. I would think there is. Well, this is a big level for it, for a swing short entry. Well, now Adobe's at 380. Oh, Adobe at 380s. I mean, Adobe loses this level, guys. 376, 351 is written all over it, and it looks like it's headed that way.
Okay, Shorty, how did you kind of develop, I guess, the ability to kind of predict like how many weeks out for something like a short? Is it kind of like based off the
Well,
duration of the call?
it's the cycle, how long it takes them.
Okay.
So this cycle here, this was weekly top to the weekly here. So you're talking about 3.9 to 4.9. It usually it stairs up, elevator down. So I'm playing it safer. If this took you a month, I'll buy myself another month for a way down.
Okay, that makes so much sense. Okay.
Just buying time. That's all I'm doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I like Adobe.
Shorty, how frequently you run these scans? Like, is it on a monthly basis you run
Usually monthly and then a
stocks?
quarterly. I'll check quarterlies a lot.
Okay.
There's also news about their Figma deal having like it's coming under scrutiny of DOJ.
Oh yeah, well, I honestly think I think Adobe has potential to go to 300, guys. That's $80 from here. So if you look at, let's say, October, November, and you look at 300s and they're cheap, that's not something that's not out of picture. I don't know how much they would be, but I would definitely look at those like November 300s. If they're like $200, think about it. You nail a $200 on a long port and it makes you $2,000. That's good money, right? And you don't have to go heavy on those things, right? You just buy one and you can put 60% stop loss on it, and then, you lost it, you're wrong, but that's okay. But if it pays, you'd be looking at some decent profits, I would say, on that one. Let me see how much is Adobe here.
They started using AI nowadays with a lot of advertisements coming up. Maybe.
I'm expecting PLTR to probably say they're using some crap like that too.
Yep.
See, these 300s are, they're expensive. They're $1,000 for October. But I would think they will probably pay here. I'm personally gonna go for 300s for January 2024 on Adobe. So that's something I'll just buy a starting pack. What happened to this company here? Oh my God, $800. Oh, I had this at 350s. It's the same company?
Is it the one
Yeah,
that made like
during
the COVID cocktail?
Dude, yeah, I had this at 300s. What? If anyone's got their financials, I would hope their financials are also 4 times what they used to be here. What in the world? No. Man, this is ready to come back down, dude. This is. Oh, this is ready. Guys, this might be my favorite for shorting. You're out of the quarterly cloud? Okay. I'll be interested in this one. Yeah, I'll be looking at this one, guys. Oh, dude. Yeah, that looks good. This is a good. Might take some short on this one, but shares too.
Shorty, for the stocks to short, like, do you go and short the stocks physically, or you buy the options put
Well,
out?
I can do both if you have enough
Okay.
capital, but this one I'm thinking January 24 would do it. Let me see how much
Okay.
earnings. Might short some shares too. Well, these are not bad. If you play January, 600s or 650s, 650s, they're more expensive, but the spread's horrible. Spread $600 on them. So, but the 600s are not bad. Spread's horrible again. This company has horrible spreads, but you could do a spread on this. I'll probably play 650s here. And probably sell something to help offset the cost. Yeah, that's what it seems like. But yeah, I think they've loaded up really, really. Man, I remember this. Wow. 800. Okay. Well, we'll move on. That one shocked me a little bit. INTU. Wonder what's this one doing? This is your QuickBooks. Ooh. That was a pretty good buy here, 350. Okay. I think this is setting up for a short here. I think this is coming up on a short, guys. Watch 455 on this one. Medium term, if you enter this at 454, you could play. I'll definitely watch this one. Short. Healthcare needs to cool off. Hopefully you guys had the McCormick. This was a good
Yeah, I
stock.
got like 10% on my Roth IRA on that one.
Yeah, guys, this was our desired levels for buying here, literally.
That one was
But,
awesome.
I think we had maybe even here. Yeah. Look at this.
Yeah, I definitely took profits a little early.
So this was really, really, really good, guys. If it breaks 87, it can go to 100. And that's something you guys should kind of eye, but I'm not gonna add anything here.
Mm.
So. CLX is still high. I want it cheaper. I want CLX somewhere here on the bottom. So if you guys look here, I want CLX on the monthly bottom. I think it's actually a pretty good short here. This is the range top previously hitting the weekly top. I will check volume profile, but there's a flip here. You know, this was the first flip. Now they might pop over and then you short, but I would definitely watch this for short, guys. Unless, you know, they break this and hold 162, then that's different, but this is coming up. I mean, that's not a bad stop loss, 3-point stop loss. If it breaks, get out. It's not a bad short here. Oh, wow. Lulu is that high? This does not make sense. This company makes no sense. Sorry, all Lulu lovers, but not sure why this stock is this high. Probably because of my wife, but
Keep seeing all of them pop up, like different locations in the city and whatnot. Kind of interesting.
yeah, I just think they're stupid high.
Stuff that are so
Honestly, I
expensive
would
too.
think they're gonna come back to 300s here really quick. I don't see them breaking this out. I'll clean this up before I send it out. And I heard their inventory levels on Lulu are through the roof. Somebody, you know, Karthik, if you want to check their inventory. But I think if that's true, I think this is easy short because they're gonna then you start finding these items in like what are the stores like TJ Maxx or whatever the names are.
Yeah,
You'll
like
find this brand
Watchlist.
there because they're gonna have to liquidate it and they're not gonna throw it unless they want to preserve the brand name. They won't do that, but then they gotta destroy it. Or they send them to Africa. I don't know which one of the options they play, but I honestly think they're gonna come back somewhere around here. This will be the zone, so this is doable here. At the weekly, I mean, think about this. We just talked about how long it took them. You guys think this is a normal move? I guess they had an ER to complete a full cycle from weekly bottom to the top in 3 weeks. Yeah. It typically is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9 weeks, and you complete it in 3. Something doesn't add up here.
And their products are pretty expensive. I don't know how so many people go there.
No, I don't. I mean, they're good products, but I will not pay $150 for sweatpants.
Say,
Sorry, I have money, but I'm not gonna pay that much for sweatpants. Maybe Dumpster will. Dumpster likes this stuff. He's really into it. I would watch Lulu here on the short. We wanted. I thought we had win on our chart. Did we not? I thought we were talking about shares for when. Maybe not. Thought at one point we talked about them. Yeah, this is setting up for a great short, guys. Does anyone see it? Let me give you a daily. You'll see it then. What is this setting up here?
Bearish money shot.
Bearish money shot, guys. This looks beautiful here. Let it come up to here, and this is poof. At 110. I'm gonna be short. When this is hotels, right? Okay, this one is not my highest probable, but has a congestion there. Once it clears 106, it really is gonna, I mean, below 98. It's gonna flush 10 points here. There's no volume here, a volume profile, I would say. I just wish I could have like a nice little volume profile thing here. Somebody's got that VP on it. Well, I do, I guess. What is this, man? Oh, man. Yeah, this is setting up to be really, really good short. Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is, something's gonna happen here. It's gonna, when is gaming, you said? It's not jeans? Oh, not jeans, not hotels.
Casino and hotel, Las Vegas.
Okay. Yeah, it's resorts.
Yep.
Gaming. Yeah, I would look, I mean, if they give us the 110 or if they break this monthly top, honestly, this would be beautiful to short. Because this to me looks like a distribution in the making here. Anytime you approach, you have sellers. I definitely, yeah, I would definitely look at this. For short. I think McDonald's, we talked about this last time. I forgot who brought it up. But this is, I mean, this is setting up for, I think, short. It reminds me, Karthik, a lot of Cat.
Yeah, that's right, Chatty.
And this looks identical. They can push this to 300, but I think we should look into some leaps for McDonald's. And I'll have to check the
They shut
cycle and see how they responded before to inflations and shit. But
they shut down entire offices previous week, and the stock went up. I don't know what's the logic behind it. All the
well,
offices.
fixed costs go down. So 225, I think 260 is doable by. 60 doable in 60 days. So I think here, as long as they don't break this 290, we can catch the 260. No, I know, actually, but I'm thinking if we have to look at their balance sheet on McDonald's. I mean, it's at all-time highs right now. We can check TLT. I don't know. What do you think here? This looks pretty good. Just reclaimed monthly bottom. Man, 120s are doable here. This is very, very doable here. Yeah. I like this on the long side. Here's your ES clouds, just so you guys know. We are at the weekly top at 4235. So, and we haven't been to the monthly bottom since we bounced there. I think Yes had mentioned. So even 37 here, we need to dip it, and we are at the at the monthly mid. One of the reasons I'm not too excited to go long at these levels, guys. Like, this is not something I want to play with. TMF. I've never heard of that one. Oh wow. Did you buy any of this? This looks good for. Okay, guys, I like this one. I'll have to research it, but this looks good. I mean, anything around 8, 8, and 10. I like this, guys. Thanks for bringing this one up. This one looks pretty good for me. Man, they destroyed it. Oh my God, this looks good. This one looks good. Here's your NVIDIA. Here, if anyone's interested in this, this is not something. I have some of the shares here, but I would probably add a little bit more here once we reclaim this level. And I think you can make some decent money on this one. So I do have this.
This company do?
Inverse NVIDIA.
Oh shoot, yeah, I think I'm adding. Okay, what is it? Wow.
So I think this, if it breaks 32, this is a key level to watch. If it breaks 32, high chances we see 36. I'm a little bit down now on this, but I was almost break even here. I'm just holding for a longer period on this. On SQQ, I'll keep holding these. I'm not really in panic yet. If we lose maybe 28-ish, 27, I would be a little bit in panic, but not right now. Okay. Any other tickers you guys got? I'm gonna probably let you guys go. I have to go actually egg hunts with the kiddos. We have something in our neighborhood. It's from 10 to 12, so at least they'll catch an hour here.
Thanks, Shorty. Thanks for your time. Very helpful.
Oh, let me check AMD
How much for it?
formation.
Thanks a lot, Shorty.
AMD, I'm not looking to buy this. Stock wise, I'm not looking to buy till 66 Nishu. We've had it at 55-ish. I've sold it at 86. I'm not looking. I'm actually short on AMD. AMD is going to 78 very soon. We had 87 level on it, on the volume profile, which is a daily bottom. Once we slice through this, we're gonna get 66 for shares again. All right, guys. Well, thank you. Appreciate it. We'll most likely write everything up here after I finish this with the kiddos and I have to go see some family. If I see something unusual open-wise on ES, be ready for impromptu update on the watch list in case there's a change. I don't expect a big change in the open tonight. Do not use Friday profile at all, just FYI. Do not use anything from Friday. Thursday is your level, 4130 is your bounce. Below 4130, you short 4100. I'm not looking for long. I'm looking to short 4166 to 70. 4155 might be an entry on ES, but I'm going to wait to see weakness there. And we're watching for NQ POC to hit and then short. Okay, that's your quick summary.
Thanks, Shorty.
All right, guys. Thank you. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Have a good day.